In our line of business, it really matters how much the phone rings, but I'm not going to ignore subscribers, and it is a way to build the new database. If you call, text, or email somebody twice a week, they're probably going to lose interest or not even read your emails or your text message or even answer your phone call. But you publish 2 videos a week, they're more likely to watch those videos. If you're a real estate agent and you're tired of cold calling, door knocking, and spending money on ads, then subscribe to this podcast. We discuss leveraging the power of YouTube for your real estate business and how these strategies earned us over $1 million in GCI our first year in real estate. My name is Levi Lascsak and my partner is Travis Plumb. Let's get started. So today we're discussing 10 easy ways to increase your subscriber count super fast. Now, I know what you may be thinking because there's a lot of videos out there right now that are saying that subscribers are dead. And okay, maybe that there's some caveat to that as far as how the algorithm works right now, which is you don't necessarily need to be subscribed to a channel for YouTube to recommend that content to you. If you just watch somebody's video, they're likely going to recommend more and more of their content as you watch more and more of that content. But I don't think subscribers are completely dead. I think they're still relevant. And let's be honest, you want to have some subscribers because more subscribers, in my opinion, means more credibility. And we all want that silver play button, right? And 100,000 subscribers may seem far off in the distance, but now we're closer than ever, passing the 50,000 mark ourselves. And it's really cool because it really makes that within reach. But something about getting that little K beside your subscriber account when you hit that first 1,000 is just a really great feeling. And then when you hit 5,000 and 10,000 and 15,000, we've had several channels that have come through the passive prospecting program that have tens of thousands of subscribers and are doing quite well. But of course, in our line of business, it really matters how much the phone rings. But I'm not going to ignore subscribers, and it is a way to build the new database. We did a video on this and a podcast recently of how we believe that subscribers are really kind of like the new database. Because again, if you call, text, or email somebody twice a week, they're probably going to lose interest or not even read your emails or your text message or even answer your phone call. But you publish 2 videos a week, they're more likely to watch those videos. They might actually be sitting around, especially when they're in research phase, thinking about making a move to watch every single one of your videos. So I think subscribers still matter, and even though the algorithm works a little bit differently today, then people can still turn on notifications. You can't, I get notifications to channels I'm subscribed to all the time when new videos come out. So that is relevant. It is important. And of course, I'm joined here with Chrissy Owens. And actually, this is going to be her top 10 list as far as she is concerned of how to increase your subscribers. We're going to walk through that, and we're going to follow this up with part 2, which I will give you my top reasons. May not be 10 exactly, but my reasons on the next episode of how to increase your subscriber count. So I want to kick it off. Chrissy, welcome. And first one you have on your list is make videos more interactive. So care to explain?
Yeah. Well, if we don't ask people for anything, they're not going to do anything in marketing, right? So if you're not asking people to subscribe to your channel, you're not asking people to comment on your videos, you're probably not going to get subscribers and you're not going to get comments. And I see a lot of people neglect this one. You kind of want to get through the information, but not only does that obviously tell people what you want them to do, it also shows that you care about the person on the other side of the screen. And what people really are looking for when they're subscribing to you is somebody who cares about what they care about and is going to give them what they're looking for. So if you ask for it and you actually do that inside of the video content itself, as well as in like the description and, throughout in the first pinned comment too, ask for those types of things and you're going to have a better chance of getting, the subscribes and the comments and things like that.
Yeah, the ask and you shall receive, Yep. I mean, and it's, it's also sales 101, right? If you got to ask for the business. So if you ask for them to subscribe, more than likely, Yep. A lot of times they'll subscribe. Although we still have a lot of people that watch the channel that are not subscribed. But it's even funny. One of the most popular podcasts out there right now is Diary of a CEO. And their call to action at the beginning of the podcast, at least on YouTube, and at the end he's always making a plea to the camera, basically, which is, hey, our analytics show us, I think he's up to like 50% of subscribers that watch the channel. He's like, hey, 60% of you that watch this channel are not subscribed. So if you would, please subscribe. Now he's over, I think 10 or 11 million subscribers now, but still, even somebody that has a podcast, actually considered one of the top podcasts right now on the planet, and has over 10 million subscribers last time I saw, is still asking for subscribers. So, if they're doing it, I mean, and we think we're too good for that, or we watched some other video where some other person said, oh, don't do that. Don't ask for subscribers. It's a waste of time. Or I'm like, oh, well, there's some other people out there that have much bigger channels, much bigger audiences, and they're still making that request, even twice per episode. So something to consider. But I think again, it still matters. It's still relevant. And notifications, they can still turn those on, and you are more likely to get a notification of a channel you're subscribed to than one you're not. But overall, I think very important.
Yep.
Number 2, you put post in your community tab.
Yeah. So this is, and just to preface this too, you don't have to do all of these. If you're in some type of subscriber rut, this is a really good way to get out of it. So if you're struggling, you feel like you're being really consistent with things, this is based on the premise that you've actually been doing the things that you should be doing to grow on YouTube, because obviously doing the basics is going to do more for you than any of this stuff. But these are little hacks to get you out of like subscriber ruts. If you ever run into that, you've been at the same amount for a couple of weeks, this is a good way to get out of that. But the community tab is very underutilized. This will allow you to get more comments, especially from your own subscribers. And the more you post in there and get more interaction in your community tab, YouTube sees that as a reason to find new audiences for you, because you're appealing to somebody in a different capacity. We have so many different ways to reach people on YouTube. You've got the live, you've got pre-recorded videos, you've got shorts, you've got the community tab. The more of these that you utilize, the more likely it is that YouTube's going to suggest you to new audiences. And we get so much engagement on our polls. We put out a poll a couple of days ago, and we had like 300 people actually respond to that poll, which was crazy, because when I first came onto YouTube, I didn't even know that it existed, right? And it was not even available to every creator when it first was released. And it's not exactly the easiest thing to find when you go onto YouTube either. And so the fact that we have 300 people actually responding and interacting on one single poll is kind of incredible. So you probably won't get much interaction at the very beginning of using community, because you have to build the community. But over time, that's going to help you get more subscribers and help you get more engagement on the channel all the way across the board.
And I'll just say, I've noticed on YouTube recently, as I'm scrolling, I always go to my YouTube homepage and I just scroll quite a bit. I'm looking at thumbnails, but now not only are they're placing like rows of shorts in there, they're actually placing rows of community posts.
Yep.
You'll see latest post from community tabs, and it'll be 2 or 3 in a row of channels I'm subscribed to. So that's another reason why you want those subscribers, because I'll have to look next time. I don't know if I get community post in there from channels I'm not subscribed to, but I do know the ones I'm seeing I'm subscribed to there. But I'll keep an eye out next time, and let me know in the comments, by the way, if you notice any community post on your homepage of channels you're not subscribed to, or if it's all channels you're subscribed to. So again, it is another way to reach people. And plus, if you publish a video and then you follow up either the next day or the day after with that community post, that could be a way to reignite engagement back to that video. Maybe somebody doesn't come on for a couple of days on YouTube, and they might catch your community post that is pointing to a recent video you published. So a great way to do that.
Yep, exactly. I love that.
All right. Number 3, you said post more frequently.
Yep. And it's kind of going back to the basics. Sometimes it's really easy for us to feel like we're doing everything right. But when you look back, you realize, oh, I haven't really been that consistent. I missed 2 weeks in a row. Or, oh, I've really only been doing 1 per week. So if you're only doing 1 per week, try to do 2 per week, or try to, do a live if you can't get the editing done for 2 videos. Just increasing the quantity makes a huge difference. It's not just going to double your stats for you. Typically, when you do more content, YouTube pushes you out more as well. So that's just going to give you exponential growth in views across the board too. So just post more frequently, pretty easy.
Yeah, I know. I see some out there saying that you only need 1 video per week. And I just, my absolute, I guess you could say, the only absolute I have is don't speak in absolutes.
Yes.
So when somebody tells you like, this is the way, unless you're a Mandalorian,
right?
Then no, there's several ways to do this. And recently we've gone back to 2 videos a week, and it's drastically increased our views, our reach, everything. And, I went to 1 video a week over the last year and a half because of my travel schedule, speaking schedule, podcast schedule, appearances schedule. It was quite intense. I've scaled back on that because I just feel like, number one, there's a lot more channels out there, at least in the Dallas area. So, competition, although I don't think about it too much. It is a reality. And even if, most people quit their channels, I think within 3 to 6 months. And so even if they post and come on and post videos for 3 to 6 months, that's just more videos in the market. And that's what happens. A lot of people come in, they post videos, they don't see traction or immediate results. And so they quit. And a lot of people will do that, or they let things get in the way, or they actually do get a reach out or 2. And then they're like, well, I'm too busy to post now. And then they let their content suffer because of that. And so for me, especially in this market, 2024 was the lowest transaction volume in the last 30 years. 2025 is shaping up to be the same, if not worse, possibly. We're seeing a huge uptick now, and our calls have increased. And I could correlate that to, releasing more videos. So I'm not above going back to 2 videos a week. And most people, if you do know, I published 3 videos a week for the first 2 years. I did not miss a week that I didn't publish 3 videos for the first 2 years because number one, I wanted to catch up, so to speak. I wanted to dominate the market. I wanted more of my content out there. And you think about it, if you're putting out 1 video a week, that's 52 videos, and I'm putting out 2, and that's 104 videos. At the end of the year, I've got twice the amount of content out there. It just gives me more opportunity, more of a library for people to watch. So I would never, ever tell you only post 1 video a week, or that's what YouTube really likes. Or, I'm always going to say, hey, do what you can that's possible, but also make a commitment to something. And if it is 1 video a week, okay, great. Then work on making that even better. Now, if your quality starts to slip just because you're trying to get quantity in there, that's something to consider. Now, in the beginning, I think you do need quantity over quality. So I think that helps you develop your video muscles a lot sooner rather than later, because if you're doing twice as many videos in the beginning, you learn things a lot faster. You clean up mistakes, and you get your video legs underneath you a lot sooner. So I think I agree with that. You want more subscribers, you want more views, post more. Now there is a point probably of overkill.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go over 3 videos a week, and 3 videos a week is that is time consuming. It takes effort, energy, all of that. So it depends on where you're at in your business as well. So I agree with number 3, post more frequently. And that brings us to number 4, which is going to be, you said, go live a few times a month.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because, again, like I was saying before, live videos are ranked differently than pre-recorded videos. So if you're ever in a state where you're like, man, I just feel like either my subscriber count is getting a little bit low, or I really want to try reaching new audiences, that's an easy, just shortcut for finding new audiences, because those are different people than people who are coming to a re-recorded environment. So if you want to find new audiences, that's going to increase your subscriber count automatically by itself. So I will say, the first time you do a live video, it's going to be really boring because no one's going to be there. No one's asking you questions. Nobody knows that you're going live. Pretend you have 1,000 people there. Pretend that you have a bunch of people asking you questions. Come prepared with FAQs. maybe go live with another person, another agent in a non-competing market, or even a competing market. We've had people within, Dallas itself that we've come and we've kind of done some playful banter with. So it's really interesting to kind of compare the two markets and work together. Now you can also tag people on your channel and you'll get to share their audiences as well. So that's a really good way to expose yourself to new audiences really, really easily.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you don't have to go live every week. You could even try maybe every other week. But if you are going to go live, try to commit to a consistent schedule to say, oh, I'm going to go live once a month or twice a month, or, the first Monday of the month, or, every other Tuesday. Whatever your schedule permits or allows, think about that, because you could open it up. And we've done that, especially being at EXP. We've had EXP partners all over the country and all over the world, and we've done versus style lives, like Dallas versus Houston, Dallas versus Tampa, Dallas versus Atlanta. And that's a great way, to really open up the market as well, if somebody's considering a couple of those options to move to. But yes. And then also, yes, like Christy said, don't act like nobody's there on the first couple of ones. Don't sit there and go, oh, well, I don't have any questions. Where is everybody? What's going on? And you'll see the counter and you may have one person on there, but you want to act like you've got more people on there and say, hey, of course, questions could come naturally, but if you only have one person on there, I probably wouldn't say, hey, make sure you ask questions in the chat or something like that, because you're probably not going to get any. Now, you could also maybe engage a team member or a spouse or somebody in there to watch in the other room, and maybe they throw in some questions and ask some questions. And then you're like, oh, hey, really good questions. So again, that's the kind of fake it till you make it strategy. In the beginning, if you start out with your lives, so you don't feel alone. But I think our second year, we went live every week. And it was it turned out really well. Again, the only reason I stopped was because of I seemed like I was never here on a consistent basis. So didn't make it challenging. I just didn't want to spur it on every other, randomly. Oh, hey, we're going to go live. But if you are going to do that too, have your idea, your thumbnail, your title, I think 24, 48 hours in advance at a minimum, because you can schedule that. So that also will send out notifications to your subscribers, and it'll even show up on people's homepage like upcoming. So there is opportunity there to kind of prep your viewers and potential viewers that you're going to be doing a live. So don't just go live as well. Come in with an idea, a good thumbnail, a good title, and have it scheduled at least 24 hours, but I prefer 48 hours in advance.
Yep.
All right. Number 5, you've got consider sending your best performing videos to your email database if you are more than 90 days into your channel. Now, hold on a second. Oh my goodness, because people, again, will say, don't ever share your videos.
Yeah, well, and that's why I also put that little caveat in there. It needs to be at least 90 days into the channel. And the reason is we really want to establish a baseline of people on your channel first and let YouTube determine who your audience is. If you're being really consistent for 90 days, odds are YouTube has a pretty good idea of who they're going to be sending your videos out to. So if you have an email database and it's all real estate related, then I think it's a great idea to send out your videos. And we've started doing that recently as well. And that's been helpful, because they're all people who are interested and watching. And odds are you probably have started filling your database with some of the people who are watching the videos anyway. So really, you're just kind of refeeding the same audience at that point. But again, that one word of caution, if you really haven't been very consistent for 90 days, you really haven't seen a whole lot of traction on the channel for 90 days, probably hold out a little bit longer for that. This is really more just to see some growth on top of what you've already gotten from the channel itself.
And by the way, if you want this, the Google Doc of this as well, of this list, and you want to download that, we'll have the link in the description or the show notes. You can get a copy of this. So you'll have all of this ready to go and you can follow the format. But on email as well. And I've had this discussion directly with Daryl Eves, who coaches Mr. Beast and Mark Rober and Dude Perfect, some of the biggest channels on, actually Mr. Beast is the biggest channel on the planet. But Dude Perfect and Mark Rober, these guys have significant channels as well. And he told me and made it very clear, because I was concerned about traffic source and things like that. And he said, look, YouTube judges every traffic source individually. So, if you're getting browse and suggested and search, and then you get external because it's coming from your email list, that's okay. Because, if they come in, hopefully if they come in from an email, they're in the mode to watch. So that's different than just sharing it out to Facebook or Instagram, which I do believe there is some validity to that, because I think when people are on different platforms, you have platform psychology, and on these other platforms, they're not in the long form content watch mode. They're not likely going to click over from Instagram or TikTok or Facebook to watch a 20-minute video. They're in short form consumption mode. But email list, if they're checking email, they're probably doing their to-do list or going through, and they're like, oh, here's an email, and they click over. That's going to register as external traffic. And again, it registers its own view duration as well. You don't really get click-through rate from that because they go directly to the video. But if they're interested and it's coming from email, that's okay. So, but again, I would give your channel, just like you mentioned, some time to build up some momentum. But if you've got a good email list, especially of people, your email list is the people that would watch your videos, then it doesn't hurt. And some of the biggest channels on the planet email, I get them all the time. So you like Think Media, Nick Nimmin, D Nimmin, these people, when they release new videos, I get emails from them. Hey, I've got this new video, short description, go watch it here. Again, so if these big channels, established channels, popular channels do that, again, that's another indication to me that it's okay. So somebody that says, well, never, ever, ever do that. Again, the only absolute I have is don't speak in absolutes. And so, take that with a grain of salt, but also, again, just, it's another way that you could increase your view count and subscriber count.
Yeah, well, and also you have to think of those people as warm too. And a lot of our audience that watches our videos is not even subscribed to the channel. And so it's just reminding people to continue to engage with the channel deeper and deeper. And odds are you're going to get pretty consistently new subscribers if you're sending it to your email database, because so many of them are not subscribed to the channel, which is crazy.
Yeah. All right. Number 6, you have semi-script your videos for maximum impact.
Yes. So I don't like to script a whole video all the way through. We have some exceptions to that. When we're doing really short videos, we'll script the whole thing. But I like to script your hook and your payoff very, very clearly. But the inside of the video should be bulleted. And the reason we want to do that specifically in real estate is because we're trying to insert our own stories. And storytelling is such a big piece of the YouTube puzzle. That's what makes people really want to work with you and stand apart from other real estate agents in the area. So when you bullet point it, you don't feel as stiff. You feel like you can free flow. You can insert your own stories and experiences, but you still have structure, because it is important to have structure. And that really goes back to just having good content and good value in your videos. The better your content is, the more people are going to subscribe to the channel. You want to blow them away when they watch a video and they can't believe they're getting that information for free, and that they can just go on YouTube and watch you, so that's the kind of content you want to deliver. And if you want to deliver that type of content, the best way is to have structure to your video.
Yep. And number 7, you have improve video appearance.
Yes. So sometimes editing quality is what holds people back from wanting to subscribe to you. So, whether that's the editing itself or having better sound quality, having better video quality, the more professional you appear, the better off you're going to be on subscriber count. And so, you want to appear like you know what you're doing, right? It's like the same thing as if you're handing somebody a really nice business card or a really nice resume. You want it to look like you made it in an actual design document and not on Microsoft Word. Right? It's just making it look better and more, you're going to be taken more seriously. So sometimes it's just 10% improvement on quality, whether that's editing, sound, or just the video quality itself.
Yeah. And most phones these days have good quality. So if you're using a phone, just again, have good lighting. A good microphone as well, audio quality.
Clean off your camera lens.
Yeah, make sure if you're using your phone, make sure you wipe off the fingerprints and everything else.
Yep.
But microphone, absolutely critical, because that is the recent studies show that was number 1.
It is.
Clear audio was way better than even video. So even if you had some poor video quality, if it sounds bad, people don't want to listen, especially now with YouTube being the number 1 podcast platform. a lot of people I do this. I go on walks or runs, and I'll typically go to YouTube and put something on, and then I put the phone in my pocket and I listen to it. And so, and I'm just there because I'm trying to contribute to YouTube as well, to just help build up that platform. So rarely do I listen to podcasts unless probably it's in the car. That's where I do that. But sometimes I'll even, put a video on, which I don't recommend, but if I'm around town where I'm safe, sometimes it's interesting, and I'll glance over from time to time just to see it a little bit. But, if it's talking head or podcast, I mean, you really just need the audio part of that. So make sure you have good audio as well.
Yep.
All right. Number 8, you add more structure and storytelling.
Well, again, that's exactly what we were talking about before. When you're actually adding your own information, your own stories to things, it's going to be so much better. I mean, there's a difference between telling a story and painting a picture for people and a lifestyle for people and just rambling off facts. So if you're just going to ChatGPT and having it write out your whole thing for you, and you're not inserting anything about, oh yeah, I was here the other, Levi likes to go in and talk about the showers. The showers are always 2 to 3 people. And that's like his thing. He always talks about how incredible the showers are. He talks about that. He'll talk about, this closet has enough room for all of my Nike shoes. And he's a Nike shoe collector. When I was over at his house a couple of weeks ago for our mastermind event, he bought like 8 new pairs while I was in town.
It's for a new season. Okay.
A new season. Exactly.
But also to my defense, I actually went to a running store recently and had my feet measured and found out I've been wearing the wrong size my whole life almost, or at least in my adult life for the last 20 years. So I actually needed to move a half a size up and a whole size up in running shoes. So, and it's funny because a lot of my shoes were a little bit uncomfortable, but I always thought, I'll break them in. And it's like, no, I was just buying the wrong size from the beginning. So I just decided to reinvest. Which, by the way, shoes are a part of my
an investment.
Part of my content strategy. So business expense, by the way, if you're using it for the right reasons. And again, I'm not a CPA, so don't quote me on that. But thanks for spilling the beans on that.
But see, I mean, that's so interesting, right? It's like he's always going to make a joke about the shower. When we do a little walkthrough on the house, he's always going to talk about the closets making room for his Nikes. And that's something unique to him every time that we go through a house and those types of things. So if you're not inserting your own experiences into your videos and you're just rambling off facts, then they could get, your viewers can get that anywhere. They don't need to listen to you to be able to, relate to you. Those types of facts about yourself and inserting kind of your own personality into these videos is what people relate to. And that's why they're going to call you versus the other guy. Really, anybody's going to know what the interest rate is. Anybody's going to know how many homes were sold last month. What really matters is just the way you connect to your audience.
Yeah. And I call that incorporate, don't dedicate. So, I don't dedicate the whole video about me, but I incorporate parts of my personality. But, people like that. I mean, if I'm out and about in the communities, I always stop for coffee, and I don't make the video about the coffee shop, but we include 10 to 20 seconds probably that I stopped in the coffee shop. I'm going to tell people I got an iced Americano. I might even do a segment of the video inside the coffee shop just for a change of background. And, I think one of the best examples I have is we had a client come from Kenya, Africa, and he brought me a bag of coffee from Kenya, which is really cool. And he said, hey, I know how much you like coffee. And that's really cool. Sometimes I make, Christian references or something. And we'll have people say, hey, you're a man of faith. And so, that's why we gave you a call. So just little things like that too, could be the differentiation of why people call you or not. Somebody brought that up on a mastermind call I was on the other day. They're like, hey, here's what I know about Levi. He likes coffee, and that's from my Instagram stories. Cause every time I filter through a new bag of coffee, I post it on Instagram, and I use the hashtag coffee for closers from the movie Glenn Ross, one of the greatest sales quotes of all time, which was coffee's for closers, So, I'm always posting different bags, but that person was using me as an example of, hey, I have insight on Levi's personal life. I'm not making reels and stories and about all the different coffee bags and things like that, but I just drop those little nuggets, and somebody might come in and, the military reference too, right? We talk about military veterans, immediate connection with military vets. And also most people respect military veterans. So again, it just kind of elevates you to this other level. Or sometimes that's the factor of why they're like, you know what, I want to work with this guy. You know, he's a military vet, man of faith, and he likes coffee, you know? So they're like, hey, he's just like me. And so again, but not going to be the whole video, but yeah, that's kind of hard. I mean, I guess you could try to script that stuff in, but then it may not seem authentic as well.
Yeah.
So just incorporate, but don't dedicate.
Yep.
All right. You got here a new rule, the 75-25 rule. So
yeah,
75-25 rule.
Yeah, this is something that we kind of started to incorporate with our videos as well, where we're kind of going a little bit more. Some videos are going to be more broad and some are going to be more niche. And so 25% of your content. Now, this isn't necessarily something you have to follow all the time, but this is, again, if you're in kind of a rut, you need to kind of do something dramatic with your content oftentimes. So try doing 25% of your content for the whole month, being kind of trendy topics, controversial, attention grabbing, sometimes even negative stuff, you know, maybe not necessarily negative as a whole, but maybe your title is a little bit more negative, like market crash, and have the flames coming out of the thumbnail, you know, that type of thing, something a little bit jarring on your thumbnail. And 75% going back to those basics that we always talk about, the vlogs, the map tours, the pros and cons videos. But throwing in something a little bit different than what you've been doing before, sometimes it wakes the algorithm up a little bit and it exposes you to new audiences again. Because usually a subscriber rut is just because you're talking to the same people over and over again and not getting exposure to new audiences. So try that 25-75 rule and it should get you out of that subscriber rut.
Yep. Yeah. And we have this all structured out, like in our program and in our workbook. I mean, we still have people follow this format, usually starting out with 3 niched videos and then going more broad. And when you do something more broad, like something that covers Dallas, Texas versus Frisco, Texas, you're probably going to get more phone calls from that video than you are the Dallas, Texas video. But the Dallas, Texas video could get you more views, more subscribers, and reach a broader audience. And maybe down the road, they'll do something with you. But it does help. You know, look, there's nothing of a better feeling than whenever your video hits 10,000 views and 20,000 views and 30,000 views, and you're just like, wow. So this is also good. I would probably throw that in there. You need more subscribers for your confidence, your ego, and just to feel good about making progress too. So it does massage the ego a little bit, but overall, yeah, okay, 75-25. That sounds similar to the 80-20 rule, you know, which is Pareto's principle. So we could even go that route, but yeah, I like that. So number 10, you have try a 30-day wild content push. This one, I got to hear.
Yeah. So really it is just doing something wildly different than what you have been doing up until now if you're in a rut. And this is something that kind of spurred from a conversation I had a couple of months ago with somebody who said they'd been doing the same thing for 6 months. And then one day the videos just stopped working. And as I was looking at the content, I realized it was because he was almost saying the exact same things in every single video. He was following the exact same format, and his audience was kind of sleeping. He thought he had been kind of blacklisted on YouTube, but really what he needed to do was switch the type of content he was doing. So whether that means, you know, doing a bunch of these things in succession, like the things that we've gone through, just doing all of those things in 1 month, maybe that's your wild content push. Or maybe it's just doing something completely different. So if you've been doing only model tours, go back to doing a bunch of office tours and just walking around town, completely different than what you were doing before. Sometimes you just have to change the content up because your audience is just getting really used to seeing the same thing over and over again, and they don't feel like they're getting anything new when they come back to the channel. So try something completely different for 30 days, and it should really help you get out of that rut and find some new audiences.
And you got to think about that too. I mean, a model home tour or even a community tour is super niched. I mean, and so, and you can only typically you do one community. If you're doing one video a week, that's it. So you think about it, you're showing one model home or 2 model homes once per week. You're not giving a broader approach on there. So yeah, maybe that's good to help you sell a couple of those homes. A lot of people will go directly to the builder and just cut you out of it. That's unfortunate. And so you run the risk of doing that as well. So there's things that you could do. not necessarily disclose the community or the model home builder or something like that as well. And actually tell people, hey, if you want to know more about this, make sure you reach out so I can give you the information, or I've got the inside track. I mean, you've got to give something that initiates them to want to give you a call. If you say, hey, here's a Highland home in this brand new community right here, and they're offering this in incentives, they're like, okay, cool, thank you. I'm going to go straight there and see if maybe they'll save me a little bit more because I don't have to pay your agent commission. But also, yeah, I mean, that's such a really niche down subject. And maybe you throw in there that it's a new Dallas community or something to try to get that broad approach. And that may work for a few videos, but over the long run, I think you need a really good mix, going back to the 80-20 or the 75-25 rule. And which is not exact science, by the way, but again, it's a good mix of the niche versus the broad in there as well. But also, I'll give a little pushback on this too. 30 days, I'm not sure if that is enough. I mean, just like in real estate, typically whatever you try to implement in real estate is probably going to take 90 to 120 days to really kind of start to turn over a change. Kind of the same thing, I think, with YouTube. It probably takes somewhere really around 90 days. So even if you do something a little bit different or switch that up, maybe it gives you 30 days to get your a new format working for you, but probably 90 days is where you'll start to see the benefits of that, or the algorithm or the audience really to kind of start shifting with you. So it's a good push, but at the same time, you still want some consistency with that as well.
Yeah. Just do the 30-day content push 3 times in a row, and that'll be perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I think it's a great list. Like I said, on the next episode, I will come with my version, what I think is going to be a little bit different on what you can do to increase your subscribers and therefore your views. So make sure you check back with us on the next episode. And until then, well, we hope to see you on YouTube.
See you later.